What's the message to Iran?
Don't.
Mr. President, to Iran in this moment.
Don't.
I'm going to bomb the shit out of them. It's true. I don't care. I don't care.
While Democrats today have gone out of their way to post messages on social media about the current Trump administration and what's happening to American lives. The problem is they're all literally saying the same damn thing. Don't believe me? Check it out.
When I win, I will immediately bring prices down starting on day one.
That ain't true. That's what you just heard. Since day one of Donald Trump's presidency, prices are not down, they're up. Inflation is getting worse.
Inflation
Not better.
is getting
The
worse.
prices of grocery, gas,
Now you see why Stephen A. Smith was in the polls as a presidential candidate? Chuck Schumer and the typical politicians, inflation is high. Oh, look at them pointing the fingers at the migrants. Oh, look at them blaming immigration. They don't care about you. Oh, by the way, look, they don't care about you. Well, why would you bother people from the LGBTQ community? Why would you bother folks with transgender and all this? Why would you do that? That is what the Democrats say. That's what most politicians would say. Here's Trump. They're pieces of shit. They don't give about you. It's rigged. They've hoodwinked you all the time. They think you're a freaking joke. They give you the middle finger anytime they want to. Here's Trump. Them. They ain't worth it. And do you know what his followers say? Yeah, yeah. That's how we want you talking to those politicians who've been stealing our money all of these years.
What's the message to Iran?
I'm going to bomb the shit out of them. It's true. I don't care. I don't care.
It's not what he says. It's how he says it. He does it with vitriol and venom to show a disrespect to politicians who the public have no respect for because they feel they've been hoodwinked by those same politicians. He's using it to separate himself from the cesspool that is Capitol Hill. And how does Capitol Hill respond? By showing them they're still Capitol Hill. Elizabeth Warren, Cory Booker, Chuck Schumer. Let's all get together. Let's put this in a prompter and all together, albeit in separate rooms, we'll grab a microphone and say the same damn thing. And that's what's going to resonate with the American people. And then you wonder why you're no longer in power.
Are we ready to fight for it?
Wait. What the f?
One does not have to abandon their faith. One does not have to abandon their faith or deeply held beliefs to agree the government shouldn't be telling her what to do. Or deeply held beliefs to agree the government should not be telling her what to do. But I call an opportunity economy so that every American has an opportunity to own a home, to build wealth, and to start a business. So every American has the opportunity to own a home, to build wealth, to start a small business.
You wonder why Trump is in the White House. See me on The View Tuesday afternoon? Did you see when they said, we don't believe there's a Trump mandate? I said, oh, really? Did you see the former press secretary for the White House come on? I think Stephen A. is wrong. I don't believe what he said is correct. Donald Trump has the lowest approval ratings in the first month or so, or the 2 months of a presidency in American history. Oh, really? But didn't he win all the swing states? Didn't his popularity elevate within 89% of the counties in the United States of America? Didn't his popularity elevate within the black community, the Hispanic community, and the young voters? Didn't he win the popular vote for the first time in 20 years as a Republican nominee? Didn't he also win the Electoral College vote? Isn't he in control of the White House? Don't the Republicans have the House and the Senate? All of that happened, but there's no Trump mandate.
When you listen to the language, the rhythm, and the mode of delivery, this whole thing feels so polished, approved, and sometimes it feels like it has passed through some 3 or 4 consultants, some common directors, and some poll-tested filter before these people go ahead and start delivering the speech on the microphone. And that's now the problem, because we have seen Stephen A. Smith has talked about the Democratic Party kind of messaging. You know, this guy is not actually nitpicking the tone. He's actually pointing on the credibility gap, because there is this kind of gap which is so widening, and voters don't believe what sounds manufactured. You know, there is this whole thing which is sounding too right, too much keen, like people are so much conserved, but that is how this kind of party's communication feels so manufactured, and people are wondering whether these people are either good actors when it comes to delivering their messages.
See the bullshit? Is it bullshit? Or is it just that the Democrats are so damn lost that they're actually going to convince themselves they can do the same old and still regain power, both in the midterms and in the 2028 election? I'm here to tell you that's not going to happen. If you think the liberals are overcoming that, you go ahead and watch Schumer and those 21 other senators talk their drivel. J.D. Vance or Marco Rubio or somebody will be the next president in 2028. You'll have nobody but yourselves to blame. As if it is edition of the Stephen A. Smith Show.
Have you ever done this? Have you ever heard a Democrat speak, and then in your head you started hearing what they started to sound like? I had to expose Madeline Dean from Pennsylvania on my show yesterday.
This is not who we are as Americans.
We're not who we are, so we shouldn't enforce the law?
So I ask you to make sure, continue safely to record what is going on, because we are fighting back here, whether it's with legislation or just the power of persuasion, to say this is not America.
Madeline Dean,
continue to reach out to my office and send in any information you have on these horrific raids that are taking people out of their homes, out of their places of work, that are terrifying families and children. And you can also go to Montgomery County's website, because they are paying close attention to this as well.
My goodness. What a doofus. You know what I'm saying?
That was beautiful. Was that you or her?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think that was her speaking. So you see somebody standing there. She doesn't make any allegations of any wrongdoing by ICE. Just that they're bad and they're the gulag and they're people with the unmarked cars or something. And they're stealing mothers and children from the grocery store. Blah, 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 blah. Come on!
When you scroll through the official feeds, you'll meet different politicians, different faces, and what you'll notice is that there is same phrasing, there are same hashtags, and there are also same mode of framing. And the whole conversation which these people deliver feels as if it is written on a template. And the worst bit is that now the public has started noticing. The members of public, the voters, and also the citizens are feeling this kind of script which is actually revolving around this kind of message which these people are saying. And they are feeling it. And now it sounds like some sort of a press release and not like a in-person feeling. It feels like these people have been trained on what to say. Meanwhile, when you compare all this to Donald Trump, it doesn't actually sound filtered, because this guy sounds so unrestrained. This person is so unrestricted. He talks what he feels, and he has the real human emotions, because sometimes he might be aggressive, sometimes he might be chaotic, and then undeniably human. But that whole thing, we cannot deny that that guy feels human, because he talks sense, he talks what he feels should be right, and not this whole filtered narratives. And that kind of era is where trust in institutions is low. So we're seeing a lot of Democratic supporters are actually getting to doubt their leaders once more. And now they are comparing him to the raw words which don't seem rehearsed when it comes to Donald Trump. And now you can criticize his rhetoric all day. each and every time, because these people do, but they don't actually change the physiological reality when it comes to mode of delivery, because the authenticity or even appearance of it matters a lot, and it cuts through the noise which is actually so rampant nowadays. And now that kind of a scripted language now starts to bend into it. And another thing is that where this kind of a democratic party keeps this whole thing miscalculated, they face this kind of viral moments instead of durable connections. They have a moment where they go and be viral, and they don't have that kind of durable connections with human beings, because their aim is for applause lines which have been crafted for the social media instead of clarity, which should be crafted for the skeptical voters. And every message feels so optimized. It feels so personal in few instances. So when people feel talked at instead of talked to, they kind of disengage. They kind of don't want to engage into that kind of conversation anymore. And this is not because they reject the every policy, but because they reject that kind of tone. And that's when they come to notice that these leaders who have been representing them seems as if they have been managed. It seems that they have been controlled from behind the scenes. And there is this part where media plays, because they echo that kind of chamber. They have that kind of shift in voter behavior can happen too. And many of these commenters actually go ahead and dismiss it as ignorance or misinformation. And that's the avoidance that gets to protect ego and also the strategy of the very party. And if this kind of messaging fails, then you go ahead and diagonalize it. People are now recognizing it, and you don't get to shame the audience. Now, the collapse is credibility. The collapse in the credibility in this party did not just happen overnight. It has actually happened over and over, because they have been repeating it each and every time. And now, statement by statement and also post by post, people are getting to feel that this whole thing seems controlled from somewhere. And the irony is that the party is often campaigning, and they focus majorly on empathy and connections. Yet the mode of delivery feels so mechanical. The voters don't want to hear what consultants think. They just want to hear the kind of convictions. They want to hear the stakes. They want to hear plain speech. So Donald Trump kind of understands this kind of mode of delivery, and popularist figures always do. And they frame this politics as a fight. They name the enemies. They simply conflict with whoever conflicting with them, and also approach this kind of emotions. Then the emotions come to mobilize the turnover and the turnout of the members. And if the Democrats keep on relying on this kind of formula, I think they will keep losing ground to people who are willing to break that formula each and every time, because political communication is not about sounding correct, but about sounding real. People want you to be real. They don't want you to be so over-polished and to sound so calculated in the mode of delivery. Well, we know words have a long way to go, but you don't have to be so polished. People just want you to be real. Just feel their pain, feel how these people actually want you to feel concerning their matters, until that kind of shift actually happens, when the gap between messaging and the voters will just keep growing, because we are seeing that there is this massive migration between Democrat voters who are now going to the other side, because they feel that these people have not been keen to their interests, they've not been keen to their needs, and they've put actually their rights, the needs and also interests of immigrants first before that of the American decents and the American people at large. And now that kind of gap keeps growing, and elections will also keep reminding them of it each and every time, because these people have seen this kind of script for decades now. They've seen it over and over again. Well, let us know what you think about the messaging and also the coded message which Democrat leaders tend to use on these political debates, rallies, and also the mode of tone, delivery. Let us know what you think about it in the comments below. And if you've not subscribed to our channel yet, you can support us by subscribing.